Denmark. Officially the happiest country on earth. 9 out of 10 Danes have a bicycle. Just 4 out of 10 have a car. The country has high population growth targets. In under a decade, Copenhagen hopes to be the world's first carbon-neutral capital. And all of this while maintaining a AAA credit rating. The Danes certainly seem to know what they're doing when it comes to living. Even still, they've got their own issues with housing affordability. Here, the problem particularly affects young people. In less than 10 years, Copenhagen needs another 45,000 homes. They need in the order of 10,000 more just for students. And that's led to some creative solutions. Right next to the university, developers are building an entire village out of shipping containers.
This is the second demo, and as you can see, it's a bit, please feel free, it's a bit more rustic, right?
These students are getting their first. They're eager to get on the waiting list.
The wooden floors, it's actually the original floor. Yeah, pretty like smooth and soft, right?
One Danish shipping company alone disposes of 200,000 containers every year. So there's a surplus of these, which means they come cheap.
So this is the actual journey it's been on over the ocean.
That's nice.
Started in Montreal, then been to, like, I guess, Hong Kong and Egypt and Aarhus.
These guys are all on the hunt for somewhere to live.
It's just gone in 5 minutes, literally. It's gone. Even if you post like, "Hi, I'm Ida," the perfect resume, everything, it's just gone.
And is there something wrong with you, or is this...
I hope not.
Is this a problem that all young people
No,
are
it's
facing?
a problem that we're all facing. All of the persons I know, at least.
You sound pretty desperate.
I am desperate. It's not fun to be almost homeless.
You never need that.
They've changed the zoning laws in Denmark to make this work. Finding disused land, not yet zoned for development, they can quickly and cheaply throw up a community.
I think it's fair to say most people, if you said to them you can go and live in a shipping container, they wouldn't be all that excited about it.
No, that's true. And I also had somewhat of doubt. It seems pretty nice, actually. And location-wise, it's better than other places I could imagine.
And the big question, of course, would you live in this?
Yes, definitely. Also applying as soon as they open up. Yeah, that name.
They're willing to try it at least. So I'm on my way to meet someone who wants to sell this kind of idea to the world. G'day, I'm Hamish.
Hello, Hamish.
Very
Nice to meet you. Welcome to Denmark.
This is it. What is it?
This is it. Well, this is a floating structure called Urban Rigger.
Yeah.
And it's 12 student houses on this floating concrete platform.
Do you want people to live in it?
Yeah, well, it's nice to wake up in the morning and look at the water, isn't it? Have a sea view when you're studying.
Yeah, it's not bad. Can we take a look?
Sure we can. Come on.
Kim Laudrup is the brains and the ball of energy behind the Urban Rigger project. Is it actually finished?
Yes?
Yeah. So this is it?
This is a 25 square meter student apartment with a sea view that would cost you $500, $600, $700 a day. In the hotel next to us.
And for this place?
$600 a month.
Right.
Floor heating is working. It's 29 degrees here.
It's toasty in here.
Isn't that nice? And you
And
were
it's
so
all
cold.
being-
And the colour's coming back in your face now. It looks good.
The concept for this design was born out of Kim's need to find affordable housing for his son, heading off to uni.
You know, what does not work is these parents that say, this is nothing. When I was young, you know, I was living in a shoebox, eating my feet for breakfast, you know. What is that?
And for this Dane, the benefits of container living go well beyond the price.
All the young people that live here, they get a fishing rod. And we have very clean waters here. And you pull out a cod.
Are you serious?
Oh, I'm dead serious. I mean, you'll see people fishing all over the place here. fishing for their supper. It's so clean, this water.
All right.
Right? You pull out a cod and you throw it on the stove that gets the power from the solar panels on the roof.
I'll take your word for it on the cod. So where are we up to now?
We're going below sea level now. 2.5 meters below sea level. And this is the heart of the urban rigger.
Right, okay.
This is where everything goes on in terms of heating. And you can see here, the geothermal heating system works.
It's hard to imagine anyone more passionate or daring when it comes to solving the crisis in housing. Kim would probably give most of our politicians a run for their money.
Forget the politicians. Forget them. They're not gonna help us. Not because they don't want to, they can't. We need to sort out the shit that we're in ourselves. The market of housing is driven by economics. It's a financial question. And the way we're going now is that we're pushing the existing infrastructure out of the big cities. I mean, our nurses and our taxi drivers and our students, all the small cogs in the big machinery are being pushed out.
So what happens to those cities when the small cogs get pushed out?
Well, I think that when the small cogs disappear, the big machinery stops. It's as simple as that.
Well, yes, sometimes simple is best. Coming up, Nordic solutions for young families.
They have a word in Danish, hygge. It doesn't have a direct translation, but it means coziness and togetherness in good company. And somehow, that seems to have shaped the way they think about housing.
Hello again. Limiting foreign ownership. The Danes have it nailed. But how? We look at that and meet young entrepreneurs making a difference, turning homes into the place where you live, eat, and also grow your own food.
Denmark is thinking bigger about the future of housing than most places. This is Space 10, an innovation lab. It's funded by a very big and famous Scandinavian furniture company.
Hello.
I'm Hamish.
Hey man, welcome.
Don't worry, there's not a flat pack box or an Allen key in sight. Kove is the boss around here. At 27, he's planning for your future and mine.
This is microgreens, but we can grow almost everything.
And is the idea that by growing this stuff in buildings where people live and work, that you can then bring down the cost of the building itself?
You could easily imagine a future where the house you live in is not only where you sleep and where you eat, but also where the food you eat are being grown.
Here in Denmark, it seems solving housing affordability is not just about prices, tax policy, or supply.
No matter what, we will build more, because the world will keep on increasing with the population, and we will soon, within the future, reach up to 9.7 billion people on this planet, which is a huge increase in the amount of people. So we will need to build more than 1 billion housing units, no matter what. The question is how we build them. The question is where we build them and how those buildings functions together.
But Denmark is not just looking to the future, it's also looking to its past, when life revolved around farming and a system that puts the emphasis on buying to live rather than buying to profit. Mads is an inner-city dad. He's picking up the kids from school today. Gustav is 3 and Siri is 5. And this is their shared rooftop garden.
This is actually our garbage shed we are on top of.
Kids are developing their very own technique for gardening, it seems.
Yeah, a very efficient kill the strawberry plants.
Right.
It's a bit high.
The garden is not the only thing Mads shares with the neighbours. This block has a uniquely Danish ownership structure.
It's called andelsbolig.
Which means?
It means share housing. So each of us has a share.
16 apartments and 16 shareholders. They buy into the block, giving them the right to live there and rent a flat.
Somehow it's a mixture of real estate and for rent, but I think it's the best of two worlds that comes together.
The Andels apartment is a big phenomenon in Denmark. The prices are pegged to inflation. You have to live in the property, cutting out speculation. And this is one example of how the Danes severely limit foreign buyers.
But it's not the same thing as a co-op, is it?
No. Like in the farming, when Denmark has a lot of farms, you would share like where you do the milk, like when you take the milk from the cow and you put it in a factory, the dairy, they would own it together. So it's the same idea that you own something together and you have access to it.
It means thousands of people with ordinary jobs can afford a decent 4-bedroom place like this in the centre of Copenhagen.
What would be the difference in price between an Andels apartment and the same sort of thing on the open market?
Right now it's at least the double or more. I think that apartment, this is 110 square meters. If you buy this, would cost, in Danish kroner, it's 1.7 million. We paid for this. And if you're just on the other side of the block, buy the same size would be 5 to 6 million. So it's, yeah.
It's 2 or 3 times?
2 or 3 times the price.
Wow.
Yeah.
They have a word in Danish, hygge. It doesn't have a direct translation, but it means coziness and togetherness in good company. And somehow, that seems to have shaped the way they think about housing.
Somehow we have made a world where average people are not able to buy a house, and I think that's wrong. It's not that I'm against the market. I have my own business. Of course, I'm driven by selling stuff, but for me, it doesn't make a sense that you cannot buy an apartment in whatever city if you're not a billionaire.
In Denmark, we've found a place with a genuinely different approach to things. Before I leave, I want to find out if there is a lesson we can take from them. Esben is a political scientist. He's thinking a lot about how cities can work in a sustainable and affordable way.
Is it not just about how much it costs, but also how we live?
Definitely, I think it is. Because, I mean, if you feel like you can live in a city where you have a lot of options in terms of going out into the streets and doing things, then you're also more inclined to live in a smaller apartment, and you're also just happier and maybe living in an apartment that doesn't meet all your requirements in terms of space, in terms of having a balcony, in terms of having a garden, all these things, because you can go outside and you can get some of those needs in the city on the streets.
How do you get to a point where there is the political will, there is the societal will to fix these problems?
Danish politics in general has been characterized by a lot of cross-sector collaboration and a strong government, but a strong government that has also been highly engaged in partnerships outside of government. And that has created a culture of actually trying to fix these solutions together, instead of fixing them in silos.
So, there you have it. We are all in this together. It might even be time to sort it out.
Yes, and back home, of course, affordable housing remains an issue here. Let's see what the key parties present as new pre-election policy. Well, that is our show for tonight. Do join us on Facebook and Twitter, Sunday TVNZ. And thanks for joining us this evening. Ngā mihi nui, hei kua ngā.